Hey guys, if you haven't already heard the sad news today, LucasArts, who have been making, adventure games and Star Wars games and Indiana Jones games and, just so many great games in general, today they have announced that they are being shut down by their new owners, Disney. And of course this is very tragic news for the gaming industry. Even though they haven't actually done anything much in general in the past few years, things were actually kind of starting to look up for them. They had a new game called Star Wars 1313 coming, and they had another new title called First Assault coming, which was supposed to be like a precursor to a possible Battlefront 3. So there was some exciting stuff in the works, and we had a lot of potential there. But now that's all been stamped out, and the 150 developers and other employees have been let go. So I thought that I was trying to figure out what I could possibly do for a video on this subject, because I want to do something, because LucasArts has always been one of the developers that I've always really liked. So I thought that I would take a look at Star Wars Rebel Assault, which was a 1993 Star Wars game developed by LucasArts, and I believe it was actually the first Star Wars game I ever played. I can't be 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. So I thought we might take a little bit of look here. I've got my old CD, I've got DOSBox running, and I have a page here full of level codes that were written sometime in the mid-90s. So yeah, hopefully I've got everything set up alright, but we'll just have to see how we go. So let's just take a bit of a look. So, this was 1993. So this game was damn impressive. It was just one of the many times where LucasArts were really showing how ahead of the curve they were on pretty much every platform. We had full voice acting, we have 3D models and renders and pre-rendered sequences. It's just a damn impressive game.
Clearance granted. Is that you, kid?
And, naturally every single release pretty much from LucasArts, all the adventure games like Secret of Monkey Island, Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, those were all fantastic of course, and all the Star Wars games throughout the 90s, Dark Forces, Rebel Assault 2, X-Wing and vs. TIE Fighter itself. There are just so many great games that LucasArts released over the years that, honestly for me it's nearly unthinkable that they're gone now. And wow, okay, I don't think this game's entirely compatible with my modern mouse drivers. Wow, okay. But, even though it looks very dated by nowadays, again, this is 1993, so this is when, in the console space we've mainly got, the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. Oops. Which were of course 16-bit consoles, so seeing something like this on the PC market, it's pretty mind-blowing. So, just as I was saying, it's just kind of... it is really just hard to kind of encapsulate over 20 years of, amazing games, basically. And what really does annoy me is the fact that, as I was saying before, we were on the road to recovery after a few years of downtime, and of course before that, Force Unleashed 2, which was a pretty abysmal effort, and I honestly have theories about how the development went on that. I think it must have had the plug pulled or something like that during development, because that was just an unfinished game. But, so my main thing is we were finally seeing a chance of Battlefront 3. And that, is a huge deal, because, like a lot of people, I've been waiting for Battlefront 3 ever since the new console generation started, and, now it's just ending, so... And we still never got anything. So it's sad to see that when hope was finally revealed for that in the form of First Assault, which was going to be a downloadable game for the PS3 and Xbox 360, and I assume PC as well. But you know, that was going to be a new downloadable game, and basically if people bought that, the idea was that they might consider making Battlefront free. And, you know, First Assault, from what we saw in some leaked screenshots, and, you know, thank goodness they did leak, you know, it looked really good to me. It looked like a next-generation Star Wars game. So, yeah, which is something we haven't really got in the vein of Battlefront. We've only got the Jedi stuff. That was a pretty abysmal performance. But anyway, so as I said, I've got a page here with some codes. So we're going to just start up the first level of the game, the first main level of the game, I should say. And, yeah, just take a bit more of a look at it. As I say, this video isn't anything that much. I just was trying to think of what I could put in the background while I, you know, tried to talk a bit about LucasArts. In terms of games that I personally remember a lot, I think Rebel Assault, as we're seeing right now, this was a huge deal for me. As I say, I'm pretty sure it was the first Star Wars game I ever played, and it absolutely blew me away at the time. The Super Star Wars trilogy, I've always been a very big fan of those games. And what else is there? Of course, the Dark Forces games. Dark Forces was another game that I was a huge fan of, and that was definitely another one of the earliest Star Wars games that I played. Oh dear, the mouse calibration is not kind here. What else is there? Of course, any of the other, Jedi Knight games, so Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, and particularly Jedi Academy. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in multiplayer for Jedi Academy. Knights of the Old Republic, of course, that's another great one. Some more random ones, like Jedi Power Battles. I played that a lot when that came out, and that was kind of neat. Even movie games like Star Wars Episode 3 The Game, which was surprisingly excellent. Even the Game Boy Advance version of that was quite excellent. What else is there? There's really just so many, it's kind of hard to think. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and of course they're separate games as well, those were both fantastic. Star Wars Galactic Conquest, that was, I believe, the first Star Wars RTS, and I do have fond memories of playing that one. Gosh, it's really just hard to sum up so many years of excellent game design. And even like Force Unleashed, that was one of those games that really got me excited about this past generation at the time. Oh dear. And even though it had a lot of flaws, I still really enjoyed it. I considered it to be a really great Star Wars game, and one that did some interesting stuff with the expanded universe. So, and of course all the adventure games, Sacred Monkey Island, that was my main LucasArts adventure game back in the day, and I really did enjoy that. There are just really so many, it's impossible to list them all, but Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, of course, I'm forgetting about them, and I spent a truckload of time on them as well. In fact, I even bought the PS2 network adapter so that I could play Battlefront 2 online, because my PC wasn't good enough to run it. What else is there? Republic Commando on the Xbox and PC. That was a absolutely fantastic first-person shooter. Yeah, I could basically just keep going on and on like this for all eternity, but the biggest thing is I just think it's a shame that we're never going to get another chance to, for LucasArts to get back on top. And that's kind of what disappoints me most, is that they didn't really even have the chance to give it another go. If this had happened after 1313 and after First Assault, then at least they've kind of had a go at it. We kind of saw what came of their last-ditch attempts. But I mean, considering how many years it has been now since the last major LucasArts game, I think, aside from there were like a few Clone Wars games or something. But yeah, aside from that, they haven't really had anything. So that's my biggest disappointment, I think, with this whole affair. Of course, this doesn't mean that we're not going to see any more Star Wars games. I mean, LucasArts, most of the games that they worked on were co-developed. with other companies, and now they're just going to be licensing the Star Wars and Indiana Jones licenses to other developers. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. But honestly, I kind of had the feeling that Disney might be taking us in more of the social and phone game route, which is not what I want for my Star Wars games, to be honest. I've got no problem with them doing something like that, in the interest of making money, because, it's what's going to happen. But, yeah, I'll be very disappointed if we don't see any more Star Wars console games or anything like that. So it's probably just going to be a very long period of biding our time and, mainly waiting until Star Wars Episodes 7 and 8 come out. 7, 8, and 9, rather. And this is kind of seeing what games end up coming out of that, if any. And I'm assuming that they'll have something planned for that, some sort of promotional tie-in. Whether it'll be any good or not, well, that'll be the interesting part. I think the other thing that's kind of caught me off guard with this shutdown notice is that it really has been sudden. With companies like THQ and stuff like that, we'd known what was going to happen to them, for months ahead. With LucasArts, who have been pretty secretive over the past few years, we really had no idea. It just, this has just completely come out of the blue. We kind of thought we were getting some new stuff, and yeah. So I definitely think that Disney could have probably done a better job on this. And they probably could have done a better job in a similar vein with the shutdown of Clone Wars. They probably could have announced, that a bit earlier and that sort of thing, and tried to give fans a bit more notice. But I guess it's just something that comes down from the executive board or the whoever's taking care of the budget. So yeah. But I've got to say now, after this, Disney better make a damn good episode 7, 8, and 9. As long as we get some good movies, I'll always consider it the sacrifice in it wasn't in vain then. And we are dead. That's kind of that's a bit dark. Yeah, that rookie had promise. Oh well. That was one of the funnest things about Rebel Assault. Whenever you did get a game over, it was just kind of comical because, yeah, your team just kind of made fun of you. But, yeah. So, thanks for listening to my ramblings on this very sad day. And leave your own thoughts in the comments. What you think about the closing of LucasArts. I mean, in fairness, I've seen some people that said they haven't done anything worthwhile for, so many years that, this doesn't really matter, and, we might be able to get Star Wars into the hands of some new developers that could do some really great things with it. And I definitely do agree that that's a possibility. I'm just not sure whether Disney or not, whether or not Disney will actually take that opportunity. But we'll see what the future holds. So, yeah, thanks a lot for listening to my ramblings. Let me know what you think about the closing of LucasArts in the comments. And I'll see you later. Rest in peace, LucasArts.